All right. So welcome back to 180 with Tay. This is a very, very exciting day. I have my great friend, Cody Brown, here with me. We went to college together and our birthdays are like right next to each other. So as you can imagine, being our age that you are usually in college, we spent a lot of our time drinking.
Oh, yeah. No, I am your very, very good friend, very long friend, very old friend.
Yes.
You got me into a lot of fucking trouble.
Not that much
back
though.
in the day.
No cops ever. None of that.
The difference was, if I were to do some of the things you would get away with, like you did, I would be in jail for sure. But you were hot, you were cute, you were blonde, and people were just like, "Oh, that she means no harm."
So we had a lot of fun. We lived like down the road from each other half the time. So what? It was like always so easy to just like full send all the time.
I want to preface this meeting by saying that I am so happy we finally get to do something together, because I swear, even like as of late, every time we try to get together, something happens. I was going to surprise you in Arizona.
No, it wasn't a surprise. We did talk about it because you had a friend move out here, right?
Well, my other friend, Taylor, my other blonde Taylor, blue eyes, who's also cute, it moved out there with Zach. They're travel. Taylor's a travel nurse. So he lives out in, I think he lives either in Phoenix or Scottsdale, one of the two. And I was like, oh my gosh, like this, if there was ever a time for the stars to align, this would be it.
That would have been the best surprise ever.
All my gays and my bitch all in the same area. And I know Arizona because I helped you move out there.
I know, so that's what I was going to say. Yeah, so we went to college. We went the same years, 2011 to 2015.
Yeah, well, I graduated 1 year later because I interned, and so.
Right, yeah. Okay, so I graduated in 15, and after my Germany trip, he is who brought me to Arizona. We took that 30-hour drive in a U-Haul because my car took a shit. But I was going to ask you to tell us the story of how you ended up at that mansion that one night. Okay.
Girl.
Yes.
I don't even know. Like literally. So the boyfriend you had at the time, he had connections. And I guess he was just like that guy that just had, the man was about
It was like a promoter in Scottsdale.
He was a club promoter. And so we would go out to these clubs. We would meet his friends. And I'm sure that it was just these people that were hot and did coke. Everyone out there is hot, does coke. So literally, I don't even know, because we were drinking at these clubs.
Yeah.
And after you go to the club, apparently culture out there is you go to an after party. That's just what you do.
Yep.
So I don't remember, because it was so long ago.
I wasn't with him either, by the way.
That's what I'm saying.
I wasn't even there. I don't know.
This isn't even my character. Not my character to just leave my friend in a place I've never been before and then end up at a mansion party. But there was this semi-good-looking guy with all these really hot girls around him. So naturally, my friend group moves over to their side. And I think at one point, I don't know if we walked. I don't know if we got an Uber. I don't know how we got there, but we were with this girl. And she was like, oh, my friend so-and-so lives here. And I'm like, he lives here? And it was literally just like a house that you would just, it looked like a brain surgeon lived there. But it was a big ass house with no grass. That's the one thing I remember.
Oh, yeah, we love rocks. Arizona, we love rocks everywhere. Put them everywhere. Yeah. We love them.
Big mansion, white rocks. And then I remember Uber must have dropped us off, because we got out of the Uber and the chick that we were supposed to go there with, she couldn't get in. Like she was texting the guy, he was ignoring her.
God,
so
stop.
Typical white bitch, she's like, she just jumped the gate. Like she's just like,
no.
She jumped the gate. She jumped over and like went up to the door like doom doom doom, and it was like one of those cool ass sliding doors. So then I just hear like it rolled back, and she's like, we're good, come on. I'm like,
oh my gosh,
it's just going to get us killed. There was no transition either. We went from drinking, dancing, and then all of a sudden the door just closed. It was just like, everyone else out here is the Hunger Games. This side is the orgy. You don't pass this side. So we could not, the girl had to go pee, and the bathroom was on the other side of the door. The door was locked. She could not get back. She was banging.
Oh my God. Like, hey. You just have to fend for yourself.
She peed on the rocks outside.
The rocks. I'm telling you, we love rocks. whatever it takes, really.
Yeah.
So I did want to say something because it's a little ironic because this is episode 21. And if I remember correctly, we spent our 21st birthday together. You're the 8th on the 9th of September. We are Virgos, but you're like the best Virgo male I have ever known. One of like maybe 2 Virgo males that I will ever know that I just love and will love forever and ever.
That's the thing. I think Virgos know the club that we're in because our birthdays are so close together. We know how we want to celebrate it.
Yeah.
And it was just very conveniently clutched that I would celebrate my birthday. And then at that midnight,
well, it would be like 4 days. It'd be like 4 days of continued, like, just absolute shit show shenanigans.
Every so often, those pictures will pop up on my Facebook where it's just you holding a wine glass on my board.
It's you too. There's the one of you too with the big old bottle in the front yard on the porch. Yeah, no, I can literally picture it in my head right now.
Come over. Oh God, why did we do things like that? Remember my jungle juice and my 151 of pineapple juice? Do you remember those things?
No, in the coolers. And like that's still like people still totally do that. When I came out to Arizona, like I had people's moms making jungle juice. I was like, you guys are really, this is a lot of alcohol for just one container.
Like drinking was a way of life in college. I don't begrudge these kids for having a fucking good time.
No, it was just no alcohol. Like college wouldn't have been the same. Wouldn't have been. Unfortunately, wouldn't have been as fun without the alcohol. Like it just was. It just is part of life. The partying that you experienced, like obviously that got a little further than had expected. But like at the clubs and like drinking, like that was constant, normal. Going to shows, going to parties, like all the time for like a few years after that, honestly. So until recently, I finally have been like, okay, this drinking stuff, like it's going too far. I'm drinking on weeknights, like not anymore, but all the time. How much do you drink now?
God, see, I am a social drinker. And when I go out at an event, because there are times because of my job, I work in radio, I go to bar crawls. I will have a drink there and I enjoy it. But besides the fact that it takes a lot to get me drunk, it puts on the pounds for me. Like it's just like not very healthy. Now, as far as wine, I will fuck some wine up. I will fuck up a mimosa as well.
Let's go.
But as far as going to the club and like a 1 or 2 vodka cranberries is fine with me. I can't remember the last time I had like a blackout phase. Like I haven't blacked out in I don't know how long.
Probably since college.
It's been after.
Okay.
That. Okay. There have been pictures of me that have popped up where once I moved to Cleveland, I'm like, I gotta be a part of this club scene. And I look dead in the eyes, like pale than I normally like more so than I normally am. And I'm like, no, drunk pictures. Somehow, some way I got home. And I'm like, I never want to have to wake up in the morning and wonder, how did I get home? Because that's a dangerous place in Cleveland.
Where we were in Akron, it wasn't that bad, but
yes,
it could. If you went further back, not like right in the it was not like right there, like where our houses were, but like anywhere outside of the campus, it was bad. Yeah, so I could see how that. Could be
was bad. We would get those. We would get those emails every other day of someone walking home, and I was surprised it wasn't me.
Right. Yeah.
Because
so imagine
I would be leaving the radio station at.
Right. Imagine us walking around campus, like literally just faded, like to wit's end. And like, what if something would have happened to us? You know, like I'm so grateful that even though we were acting like crazy fools, that we ended up being safe and we're here to tell the story, almost 10 years later. So that is one thing.
I can't believe it's been that long.
I know. In like 3 years, it'll have been 10 years since we were in college together.
I still feel like a little kid. I still don't feel like I
same
like 10 years out of college. High school definitely, but not 10 years out of college.
Same. And I mean, it's just like every day I'm learning so much more about myself that I almost wish I would have known back then, but that's just like part of the process, is going through all the things that we went through as kids, you know, not kids, but as young adults. So
no, we were kids.
Yeah, we were children.
Don't you remember?
We were children.
Don't you remember those block parties where they were like flipping cars and people were standing?
That's
on
what I was gonna bring up. Okay. So I'm glad you said that. So I have written down here that since we live right next to each other, there was those parties called Sumner Fest or like Sherman Fest, like they were the names
Sherman
of the roads.
Fest. Mm-hmm.
Yes. So Sir Cody and all of his roommates, hello to them too. The street, like any house on the street would throw a party, and like every single person in the school would go to that one street, and the fucking place was just like outrageously packed. They started flipping cars some years, like it was just
lighting them on fire,
the wall, insane. So it's just like a crazy environment, and like the energy that is there is just insane. What do you remember from those moments?
You would pre-drink to the party where you're going to drink, then you would go to the party where you're supposed to drink, and then you would leave the party and then drink some more and then talk about how much you drank at that party. So it was just a nonstop drink fest. And then for whatever reason, when the party would get shut down, because it always would, everyone would always, why was my house just like the
every
lazy
time
on house? Like it was.
That's because
like, no, go
of
home.
The energy that we had. No, it was always, we were always having so much fun. Everybody wanted to come home and party, like, and I wanted to play beer pong.
They wanted to come over.
Who needs a partner? Let's go. Tat, 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 tat.
They wanted to come over and incriminate us, because whatever would happen, everyone they would be on our porch, and I can't tell you how many times people have gotten like underage citations at our house, or they were walking to our house with like beer bottles and they had it open, and people would get like open container. Remember our super hot friend Matt? Remember him? Yes. He got a citation in front of our house.
Oh my gosh. Hilarious.
I forgot about him until literally just now.
I used to get so drunk on that porch that I would. So this is one of my biggest regrets of college, is I would yell numbers off the porch just to like start a tussle between people walking down the street. So I was like trying to incriminate myself on this porch. Like who am I trying to fight? Nobody. Like alcohol makes you do crazy, unnecessary things. And I take back those things that I did. Just kidding.
But I don't think anybody holds those.
No,
unless you're an
does.
immature person. Everyone everyone knows that you're not a full person in college, unless you weren't committing crimes, like you were doing drunk, stupid shit. Right. There have been people that
which is what you're supposed to do in college.
Our house. You have to get it out. Because we would sneak into parties, we would sneak into bars, we would flirt with boys, like we would get into all type of trouble, and somehow, some way, you had this energy where everything is going to be all right. I
still have that energy.
Literally, falling down drunk in front of a police officer.
Never
anybody else would have been taken to jail. And you had friends. You had a guardian angel looking over you.
I did. I still do. Whoever that is, thank you for that. I'm very grateful for all of that. That I'm still good to go, and that I didn't get in more trouble back then, honestly. So that's one thing I can say, is just be grateful for learning from your mistakes. And even if like you're still going through it, just keep going.
I will say though, I will give us kudos on us being responsibly irresponsible. We've never
100%
drink and drive.
Right.
We've never like gone to another we've gone to other houses, but not other cities where
we always stayed like in the same spot.
We stayed in our area. We would always get drunk and walk home.
Yeah, like we were always walking.
Got awful.
Yeah.
Always walking. Never got mugged, but we always
we had each other, because you were the male figure, like you were my gay best friend. No one else needed to know that.
No one knew, because I'm like, let me just turn my gay down for like 5 minutes so we can walk home, because maybe they'll think I'm intimidating, and no one will ever fuck with me, because they're like, oh, he got a nice white chick on his arm. Like she'll scream, people will listen to her.
Well, yell. I will yell. So silly. So one thing that we haven't actually brought up yet is that for like the whole 4 years that we were in college, we worked at the radio station together, WZIP. And we were also directors.
Mm-hmm.
So not only were we like best friends running around like absolute fools on the weekends, but we were literally running a radio station during the day. So when he says we were responsibly irresponsible, like that is absolute facts. Like, no, it really is. We would literally get fucked up on a Saturday and then go do the Sunday scoop on Sunday morning. Sometimes we would skip, but sometimes we would go. And what was the Sunday scoop? Tell them what we did there.
The Sunday scoop was like a pop culture talk show in between songs, because we always would play songs. It was music first and then commentary second. But we would go on there and talk about anything that was, you know, pop culture related, anything that was entertaining, funny, stupid. If we could make a joke out of it, make people laugh, and have them listen to the radio station longer, we would talk about it, and it would be live. And it was every Sunday. Oh God, what was it? 11 to 1, 11 to 3
or so. I don't know. It's something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So you may think like 11 p.m. is late. Like you guys should be up and at 'em by then. No, we were not. We were
in college.
And it was a weekend.
Yeah. So
we were walking there like 10 a.m. Like, I can't believe I have to get up this early.
I know. But we would do it though. And that's actually here. I was going to ask you, I'm not out here trying to give people unsolicited advice. All I'm doing is telling people what I'm trying. And if they need to feel like they're not alone as well on the journey that they may be on, like at whatever stage that they're in, I want to help other people feel not alone, because that's what I needed when I started, right? So tips, tricks, and what the fuck is this is just tiny little things that can help. Like some of them are like baby steps, like don't get down on yourself if you're not doing your very best. Like any improvement is an improvement, right? Or even just things like be kind to yourself, you know, like don't sit in a negative mindset for very long. Like try to realize what you're doing and think more positive, right? Just like simple everyday things that anybody can do. I have an idea for what I think you would say, but do you have any tips, tricks, and what the fuck is this for everyone?
The only thing I would say is take things one day at a time as well, because Rome wasn't built in a day. So all the stupid little cliches, they're cliches for a reason, because they work. You are only human. So no one expects you to be superhuman. And if things were done easily, think about if you were building a bridge and someone says, hey, well, that bridge is going to take too long. I can build a bridge overnight. Would you want to drive over that bridge, or would you want to wait a little longer to where you have the more stability?
By all means, I would wait.
Some people be like, no, I got to go now. And also as far as
You're
like
right. That's a good analogy.
Roadblocks.
Yeah.
Yeah. As far as like roadblocks, if you're driving down a road and it's closed, do you just get out of the car and cry? No, you find another way.
Right.
So those are just little things to remember. One day at a time, and there's more than one way to get to your destination.
Right. Cool. No, I love that. So what I wanted to make today kind of about, because obviously I was like, oh my God, my best friend, I'm going to get to reminisce, talk about all the weird shit that we did in college and all the amazing things that we accomplished. Like that radio station, I mean, that we did great things there. So that was
never
really,
been the
really
same
cool.
since.
No, I doubt it. But we put our hearts into that shit. And like, that's one thing that's like really big for me right now, mostly with trying not to drink so often, is like finding shit that like ignites me, you know, like that makes me super passionate. And I was very, very passionate about WZIP. So that's really cool. But what I wanted to make today about was like recognizing your past, and that like you had fun and you did all those things, and like it's okay to, you know, accept how crazy you were and just realize that maybe it doesn't need to continue forward into our 30s. Right. And the quicker we learn, the better too, you know? So that's like all I'm trying to do here is just realize I had a lot of fun, and alcohol is fun, but there were times where I took it too far, and I just want to somehow try to learn from that, if that makes any sense.
That's all you can do, really.
Right.
You can't get undrunk, but yeah, those
you can't get undrunk. That's true.
It's not like when people talk about alcoholism or like partying too hard, I'd never really worry about like, oh, there's not a drink that's I know people have their signature drink, like their go-to, but I'm more interested in the psychology of like what makes them go that hard. Because me, I just really never had that much interest in getting that drunk. It doesn't feel good for me. Like the alcohol doesn't taste that great. It makes me feel bloated. The drunk that I feel is essentially like out of control. I don't like feeling like not in control of my own body. I don't like not remembering things. I don't like being sick the next morning. So the pros and cons of it, I mean, the cons far outweigh the pros of it. The pro is you get drunk.
Right.
And some people just like
and you're like
drunk, and I get that.
The pro only lasts for like the first few hours, and then the con goes for like days after. That's how I would look at it.
Correct.
So Cody also has his own podcast, so you can check him out at the Poundtake Podcast, wherever, probably mainly at iHeart. And then also follow
iHeartRadio.
iHeartRadio. And then also follow him at Radio Cody B on Insta, and he is fucking hilarious. So you will be thoroughly entertained no matter what. And just know you're never alone. Your past is your past, and moving forward is all you can do one day at a time. Cody, I love you so much. Thank you for being here. You're the best.
I love you. I'm so glad that we got to do this.
So happy. We will talk soon. Okay.
Okay.
I love you. Bye.